What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the puzzle speedrun where we are getting from 1500 to 2500 and we are currently at 1925. So let's solve some more puzzles and try crossing the 2000 border. So let's look at puzzle number 1 of this episode. Here we see that the king of white seems to be quite weak, but also our own king is being threatened to be checkmated actually in one move, so there is immediate urgency to do something about this. And yeah, we will need to give a check, because if not we will simply be checkmated, and there doesn't seem to be any easy way to stop that threat. On top of that, we're down a queen, but we got 2 rooks for that, and we're also down a bishop. So well, let's start by considering some moves which come with a check. Well, we can play knight to d4 with the intention to then play knight to f5, from where we can attack the queen and also protect against the checkmate. So let's say we give this check on d5 with our knight, and then the king proceeds to run over, attacking our knight. Then we can actually deliver a fork here, and yeah, we will be winning. So white cannot play king to e3. Instead of that, white could play king to g4, and we could then again go for this idea of playing knight to f5, attacking the queen. And yeah, we are already covering this square with our knight, and we are covering this square with our pawn. So the queen will need to move to g5. And then I think we can push h6, actually, protected by our knight, attack the queen, and the queen will be trapped, since the g4 square will be then blockaded by the queen. And yeah, also notice that this bishop of white is hanging here. So yeah, this variation seems very good for black as well. So let's see what happens after check, and now king to e4. We again can go for this idea of knight to f5, and now the queen can again move to g5. If we now push h6, well, the queen will now be able to move back to g4, but yeah, still this bishop will be hanging, and we kind of cleared the threat of being checkmated, and we are winning the bishop. So this will be probably enough to be in a winning position, since we have the 2 rooks, and yeah, the queen is really not in a very nice place, and the king is even in a worse position, stuck in the middle of the board. And if we bring the rooks over later, I think the position will be equal. So let's try to move knight to d4, and now they attack us with the king. And of course, if we give a check, we will simply lose our knight and lose the game, because there is no knight check available anymore. So we will need to attack the queen. It's simply the only way to, yeah, protect against the threat of checkmate and at the same time attack. And yeah, let me quickly turn on the engine to see what the engine is recommending here. It's recommending a queen g5, of course. And now, yeah, we can either give this check, we can push here, or pick up the bishop. So yeah, nice puzzle. We got 17 points. So let's jump on to puzzle number 2. Puzzle number 2, yeah, okay. So we are down an exchange. We have the 2 bishops, whereas our opponent has a bishop and a rook, and we are having a very strong battery on this diagonal. So of course the move that comes to mind is simply queen to h2, giving a check there. But let's calculate what's gonna happen. So the king will move over to f1. And well, of course we could again give this check here, but after queen to g1, I don't see any good continuation for black. But let's say that after we give this check here, white moves over, and then we bring on in our bishop to the g3 square. We will be, well, securing the queen and the rook. So we go here, king moves over. We're bringing the bishop, attacking the queen. Well, if the queen blocks, we will simply take it. Or not blocks, but if the king drops back to g1, we will simply capture it. After king captures, we get a free rook. So that's nothing white can do. Another move that white might consider is, well, it's not even so easy to find a move for white here. Let's say they play queen to f5. Well, in that position, we again, now this time we can give a check on h1 and we will pick up the rook. So that seems completely winning. Let's try to go for this variation. And yeah, now don't be greedy and try to, or like thoughtless in giving this check on h1, because I don't think there's anything in this line, but we will play bishop to g3, attacking the queen. And yeah, now of course we simply capture the queen and we capture the free rook on e1. Nice puzzle once again. We are getting closer to 2000 once again, and let's see what's gonna happen in the next puzzle. So puzzle number 3, we have a knight which is hitting our knight, and also there is a lot of tension going on this diagonal. So let's say we simply capture the knight on e4. Well, black's gonna recapture, and after that we can of course take on here. And yeah, black will need to recapture. Of course, the queen's getting attacked, and I think in the end of the variation we will be getting this knight for free, which will be then the knight which is on this square right now. So yeah, once again, let's look at it. We jump here, take the knight, they grab us back, we take them, and there is no nasty in-between move by black, as far as I can tell. So they will need to recapture, and we will simply win a piece. And since we're starting out with equal material, yeah, this variation seems to be completely winning. So let's go for it. And we take the knight. So we got 13 points. Very quick puzzle. Yeah, let's jump to the next one. Puzzle number 4. There's a rook here, which is, well, being lifted and protected by the pawn. And generally, the material situation, we have 5 pawns, whereas white has more than that. White has 6 pawns, so we will need to achieve something a bit drastic and not simply win a pawn or something like that. And as we can notice, white's pawn is very much stuck actually here, and also notice this rook here in the corner is unprotected. So in an ideal situation, we would be able to bring one of our own rooks to the a1 square, and well, it would be checkmate. But even if this pawn would be gone, a rook on a1 would lead to the winning of the rook in the corner, since the king will have to step out of the way, and then we can simply capture the rook. So I think we can play rook to a8, threatening to come to this square over here. So it's a very strong threat, and let's see how white could respond to this threat. So let's say they try something like king to b1. Of course, then we could lift our rook actually up to a3 maybe to protect the pawn and prepare also to double up the rooks, and then go again to this a1 square. And I don't think there's a good way for white to stop this threat. So let's try this move. And yeah, they don't even go for that. They go for capturing our pawn, and now we will simply pick up the rook in the corner. So nice puzzle. Now let's go try. Let's go back and just simply out of interest look at what would have happened if if white were to play king, for example, to the square. And yeah, there's only one good move, which is protecting here. Okay. Nice puzzle. We got 18 points again, and we are very close before the 2000 mark. So let's go for one last puzzle in this episode, and we will be over 2000. So puzzle number 5. We have actually we're down quite a lot of material here. We're down a bishop, and yeah, the pawn situation is 5 versus 5. But there's of course the possibility to capture here, which will certainly not be the solution of this puzzle, since it's not enough to simply win a pawn. But yeah, black's king is very weak and very much stuck in the corner, very well attacked by our pawn here and kept in the corner. So there are two moves I want to consider in this position, and one of them is queen queen to d8. The other one is queen to h8. Well, because these are basically only checks in this position. And actually, let's look at queen to h8 first. So this is well, by far the most forcing. There's only one response for black, which is literally to grab the queen. So we would have sacrificed her, of course, their own queen. And let's say we then play rook to d8. And, well, the king cannot move, so black will need to block off the check. And can do that either with the queen or with the rook. But however they block, we will be able to capture with our own rook. So actually, I think this variation leads to a forced checkmate. Beautiful, beautiful queen sacrifice once again in these puzzles. And we don't even need to consider queen to d8. Yeah, because after, of course, queen to d8, white can now, black can block with the rook, and there will be nothing there. So let's go for the most forcing variation. Queen to h1, sacrificing the queen in the corner. Beautiful. And now rook to d8, and we make basically black sacrifice all of their pieces almost, and checkmate the king in the corner. And we got to 2004 in this episode. We finally crossed 2000 mark, and it will be interesting to see how long it will take from now on, because until now we always managed to get about 100 points per episode. So let's see how long it will take to finish this series. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the series. Give me some feedback in the comments, and give me a like if you want to see more videos like this. And as always, thanks a lot for watching.